Hello, Cancer. Thank you for tuning into your general read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. For supportive oracle cards, Energy Oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. Alright, let's go ahead. I already shuffled. That bottom card does want to come out, so we'll put it to the side. I don't know what it is yet, but we'll find out in a minute. They're kind of going all over the place, so that's interesting. Okay, so this is very interesting how the situation, let's start off with the situation itself coming into it. There is anxiety and there is the Page of Cups. So I feel like the situation itself, I'm feeling like it's coming to a close, actually, and that's the anxiety. But it's enjoyable. The Page of Cups is telling me it's kind of like a fun situation. It seems to be coming to a close. It doesn't seem like it's got what it takes to keep going the way it is. Something is definitely changing. So there's a change in the air here. If this is a work situation, it may be the way a job is done or a certain unit or something like that where things are being changed. The way they've been going isn't going to work. There's some anxiety about the changes coming up. But the way it's been going, it just can't keep flourishing the way it has been. Either way, whatever you're dealing with, whatever the subject matter is, there's some anxiety because of the change coming forward. And the way it's been going is just not going to cut it any longer. I'm seeing you actually in the power position here with the King of Wands, kind of accepting it in the sense of like things are changing, but they need to. And the way you're looking at this may be like at least it's not failing completely, it just needs to change. So it's a change and there's some anxiety around that. It's been good, but to keep it going, change has to happen or failing will instead. So it's either change or fail. That's kind of the way you're looking at it. We either change or we fail. And I'm not into failing, so I guess we're going to change. And I see you pushing this over to other people. So maybe there's other people not feeling the same way, but the anxiety is still there, granted. But you're also saying, listen, it's either we change or we fail. And you got the Success card, the Six of Wands. People around you are feeling like through your inspiration that this can be overcome. Because you're on board with it, because of the way you're looking at it, other people are kind of aligning themselves with you, if you will, and they're like, all right, you know, I don't really like how this feels, this is making me nervous, but since you're putting it like we either go forward or we just flat out fail, I'll go forward, especially if I have you to go forward with. I don't feel like I'm doing this by myself. That's the success here that you got in the environment. People feel like they're standing with you, you're standing with them, this can be overcome, they don't really want the change, but I feel like you're the one kind of relating that. Like it's either fix it or fail. One of the two. And they're like, well, yeah, I don't want to fail, so let's go together, let's go forward together. Now the change coming in does take some time. You got the Temperance card. It's going to take a while. It's not going to happen in 2 seconds. It's going to go slowly, but it's going to go surely. And when I'm seeing this next part come in, what I'm actually feeling is that you're trying to balance it out. You do have the Angel of Love on your side with the High Priestess. So you're trying to do your best to try to see it in more of a realistic tone, a realistic light, I guess you would say. This is what's going well, this is what I don't like, but this is what needs to happen. You're not loving everything that's changing here, but you're like, you know what, really, it's got to change or it's going to fail, so it's kind of moot that I don't like some of these things. It still has to change, I just kind of have to roll with it. And I feel the Angel of Love is kind of like saying, you know, at least it's still going, at least it's still happening. And I feel like the Angel of Love is actually connecting to the support, again, you're feeling around you with the Six of Wands. I almost call it the Six of Wands, but the Six of Wands, where there's support here. You're feeling like you're not alone in this. It helps a lot. Feeling like you're with other people and other people are feeling what you're feeling makes a big difference. And even though it's dragging on and it's taking a long time to actually move forward to the next step, you're not feeling too bad about it because you know you're not standing alone. There's that face down card. Now this is face down. The Two of Pentacles is face down. You may be seeing it, it's either fix it or fail. The truth is, literally, it's going to fix or it's going to fail. And even by going forward, there's still a chance of failing. When I'm seeing this Two of Pentacles, it's like the choice, as long as the choice is up in the air, as long as people are like halfway going forward, halfway holding in the past, until the choice is made, the situation can't really move forward. Everybody has to be on the same page to move forward, or it's basically going to fail, is what I'm getting. This is face down. It's telling me this may not be very apparent, but everybody has to be on board for this new way to have success. If there's some people who are not on board, that's where you get the storm warning with the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups are people happy with what they currently have, what they've currently garnered and worked for, and they are enjoying. The storm warning is saying they don't want to give up what they already have. The change is saying, yeah, they're going to have to give that up to get something better down the road. If they're just going to sit here with what they currently have, it's kind of like whatever you have on the table is what you got left, and once it's used up, you're done. That's basically what's happening, because the storm warning is saying, yeah, it's good. Right now it is good, but these resources will be used up. And once they are used up, it's not going to be good anymore. That's the storm warning connected with these two. That's why these two are coming together. The choice to move forward together needs to happen. If people don't move forward together, it's more than likely still going to fail. Now, I see you at some point in this area here where you're working at it. It's taking a long time. You're starting to identify one of the reasons it's taking so long for these changes to implement or to go forward is because not everybody's on board and people are holding back to old ways, which is dragging the situation back, which is causing it to sink. It's kind of like a boat taking on water. If it's taking on more water than it can handle, it's going to sink sooner or later. You know what I mean? Even if it has a slow leak, you got to keep getting the water out. You got to get the water out faster than it's coming in, or you're still going to plummet to the bottom. And you're figuring that out right off the bat. Once you notice it, once you see it, like, we can't keep doing this. This, like, we're taking on water, we're trying to make this voyage. We got to all be committed into stopping this leak. AKA, we all got to move forward together. We have to get together on this and move forward as a unit to get success to come back to us. And the Page of Wands is telling me you're seeing this and you're worried about this. You're trying to get other people on board, but at this point, you're holding up your own end of the bargain, and it's hard to motivate others. You're just kind of starting a conversation with other people because you got this Queen of Swords in the center. This is what I see. This is what's happening. We all have to stand together or we're going to sink. This boat is going to sink. Adversity. People don't want to hear it. They don't want to do it. This is becoming a problem. This is becoming a big problem at this point because it's kind of like you've gone this far. You've made the commitment to change because you looked at it like it's either change or fail. Fix it or fail. Fly or flop. Or what is that saying? Fly or die? Like fly or die. One of the two. You identified this back before and you committed to moving forward, but without these other people, you are dependent on these other people also committing to it. And that's causing a big problem because you're seeing all the adversity and you're seeing while this is taking a while, it might be just taking a long time just to eventually fail because you can't do it on your own or you and whoever else is on board with you, it's not enough. Everybody has to work forward together and there's a lot of adversity showing up at this point. What happens next is unexpected is what I'm getting. At least when you're going into this. In the situation, that Queen of Wands turns into the Two of Swords. Even though the conversation was very frank and very directed and people were making their points, I feel stubborn people, digging their heels in and they're not going to do it. They don't want to. They've decided it's not for them. They're just going to stay with what they know. They're not going to change. This is causing a stalemate. This is one of those things where no choice is still a choice because I feel like this is the only way this is going to work is if everybody moves forward together. And if it's not happening, it's going to fail. And I'm feeling that's what's happening here. Because when the Two of Swords pops in, right on top of it, the Temple and the Walk Away. Like, it's time to walk away, it's time to go on to a new path. And I feel like that's what you're going to do. Whatever the situation is, it might be more dramatic for some than others. Some of you might be literally moving on to another job or changing the whole situation you're a part of. If it's something where family's involved and the situation calls for a group majority to move forward, I feel like you're going to try to get out of this connection with your family, not your family altogether, don't get me wrong. But whatever the subject, like if it's planning for something or like maybe it's going together and on a gift or something, I don't know where that's coming from, but there you go. You're going to try to step out of it. You're going to try to release yourself from the connection the best you can. You're accepting that the situation has now kind of done itself in because there's too much adversity. If we're not all moving forward together, this can't happen. And you have the World card at the top. You're kind of like, you know what, it's been what it's going to be. There's nothing else to do. I've done the best I can. Even though I'm making the commitment to move forward, if other people are not, there's nothing I can do about that. So I'm going to let it go. Literally, when I feel the World card, you're doing your best to remove yourself from the situation as much as you can. Again, if it's a work thing, could be even getting a whole new job. Something like that. If it's a family thing, you're just pulling yourself out of this situation and you're just leaving it to other people. You're like, it's all yours. I don't want any part of it anymore. You do what you got to do. I'm going to do my own thing. There's other versions of this, I know, but it's basically like you're removing yourself from this because you're seeing it as a sinking ship. People aren't going to work together. It's not going to work. You're removing yourself. What I get coming out of this after you've removed yourself, there seems to be a little bit of like the cold shoulder going on here, I would say. I feel like, especially if it's family, there's a lot of people not talking, or at least not talking to you, but it's temporary. If it's a work thing, there might be work connections you have walked away from, and Rest and Rejuvenation is still saying that's temporary. You still could have these connections down the road. Which is tricky, I know, if you're leaving this job and going to a whole new job, but you might have something where you might have some connections coming back to you later down the road. Just keep that in mind. So, not that you're in the mood to burn bridges at this point anyway, but just keep that in mind. Like, whatever the connection is here that you're feeling detached from, it will resurface later on down the road. Is there anything else? It's just kind of like, whew, I feel like we just kind of moved on from it right there. That seems to be the ending. Alright, I feel like they're giving you a heads up. So I feel like the whole point of this is like if there's something you're committing to and you're committed to the success, but realize it's not just you committing to the change. Everybody has to. And the sooner you realize that not everybody is, you can bring that forward and start that conversation, because once that conversation starts, everything will take a life of its own and you'll move forward as necessary. I feel, because the way the energy is coming through, that you will actually start this conversation to be sure, to try to help other people to move forward. But once you see it for what it is, I do see like you're just going to move on. So I feel like you can shortcut the situation. And as soon as you see that people aren't backing each other up, you call it out. It brings it forward. It kind of ends the situation a lot quicker for you, so it doesn't drag out as longer. So the Temperance card doesn't hang around as long. I won't say that you can get out of this card, but it doesn't have to be as long. Instead of like 3 months, it could be 3 weeks, something like that. You know what I mean? Okay. Anything else? All right. I'm gonna wrap that up here. I hope that helps. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4 astral@gmail.com. Thank you.